per deciliter?
Oo.
Consistent ang paggamit mo sa mga life extension products.
Oo.
Sige-sige siya.
Ang life extension, vitamin D3.
Pila ka soft gels ang life extension vitamin D3 mo ginagamit sa regularly?
3 times a day na siya. Salamat ko nga balik na sa normal ako ng sugar.
Sino gani sir aton full name sir?
Cyrus na mo. Oton, 39. Matiyag kapoy namin igay mga pamatiyag kung makainom ko ganit siyang life extension vitamin D3 na.
Life Extension Vitamin D3 for longer life. Life Extension Vitamin D3. Kagsubong, aton pamatian si Ma'am Darlene Estonia Giliaga may bukol sa lungs.
Nagabakal to ang bukol sa baga ko.
Tapos?
Di gusto na ibuksan biopsy. Garin, hindi ako nagpasugot. Nabatian ko sa station nga ang bahi to, mao man ang kaso na. Nga nag-inom lang tana ka life extension, vitamin D3 na wala ang bukol. So, ginsunod ko lang to. Darwa sa aga, darwa sa lunchtime, kag sa nighttime. Ginimnan ko lang ka life extension. Vitamin D3, ay, after 6 months, wala na ang bukol. Isa noraan ko ti bukol, inuman ko gyapon kami kita na ang life extension. Raka ang darana. Hindi lang ko sa bukol. Kundi nagapagsik ako, hindi ako gakalimutin. 62 na ako. Wara ang hingal ko kagang akin nga ubo. Tuod, gidman ko gina-extension na gidman ang life ko. Baka kamuto. Hindi pwede nga ura ko ti life extension.
Life Extension Vitamin D3 for longer life. Aton pamatian si Dr. Manfred Marpa para sa Super Fiber.
Ano bala ang benefits sang super fiber? Gina-normalize ni ang aton bowel movements nga mahimo magaamblig sa aton sa colon cancer. That is why as a medical doctor, personal ko nga gina-recommend ang paggamit regularly sang super fiber sang life extension.
The fast-acting colon cleansing product approved by the FDA Philippines para sa masulhay nga pagpamuhin. Super Fiber. Mabakal sa mga butika. Aton ginapakilala, Pomegranate Capsule. Isa ka super antioxidant nga kapsula himo gikan sa pomegranate fruit, green tea, curcumin kag broccoli. Ang Pomegranate himo sa mga scientists, medical doctors kag nutritionists sa Europa. Rekomendado sa mga medical doctors. Pomegranate Capsule, the anti-cancer polyphenol. Mabakal sa mga butika.
Matapos ang ilang dekada, ngayon ay magbabalik na. Muli ay magserbisyo sa balita at impormasyon. Numero 1, DYRP Live Radio 1017 kHz sa iyong AM radio. Sa Iloilo ang radyo mo, DYRP Live Radio. Sa balitang may integridad at prinsipyo, Live Radio.
Ang masunod nga programa, rated SPG, istriktong patnubay at gabay, kinahanglan, may mga sensitibo nga tema kag diskusyon nga hindi angay sa kabataan. Gani, ginapangabay ang pag-ubay sang mga ginikanan.
In the service of the Filipino and the world, with accuracy, independence, impartiality, humanity, and accountability. The Allied Broadcasting Center and JPG Broadcasting Network. The new generation. Tele, Radyo Mo, DYRP, Live Radio.
Kasama ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino na nagtataguyod ng makatotohanang pamamahayag at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang Life Radio. Iloilo.
Mayong hapon mga Visayas, mayong hapon Negros Island Region. Welcome mga Abyan sa pagpalayag sang Live News Afternoon Edition.
Lunes, Pebrero 23, Nagdusmal 26. Nagkapalayag kita sa radyo sa Jazz 17 kHz sa AM band, kag 105.3 sa FM band.
Labagit na nga nag-broadcast sa Facebook sa Live Radio ILOILO 1017 kHz DYRP kag Live Radio Kabangkalan. Kibitag balita, Abyan June, Santillan Lacse.
Kag Abyan Rose Febula sa mga headlines. Sa Sa Balantayan Balita Lokal, construction worker wa ang liog sang nasapwan patay sa banwasang Alimujan.
BFE Iloilo City nagapangabay sa mga barangay officials nga i-regulate ang pagpark sa mga salakyan sa barangay roads.
Iloilo City GSO ginpasiguro nga safe ang kalawnan sanitary landfill sa Mandurriao kag nagpaathag nga kun nga may mga tion nga mapanimahuan.
Sa Negros, Maguiloy, dakop sa track bypass operation sa Vista Alegre, Bacolod City.
Sa Balantayan Balita National, anay Presidente Duterte ginpahayag nga duha ka beses nga nag-collapse sa detention center sa The Hague, Netherlands.
Mga supporters ni anay Presidente Rodrigo Duterte nagprotesta sa tubang sa Supreme Court pila ka oras anti sang iya confirmation of charges hearing sa ICC.
Sa Balita International, most wanted drug leader sa Mexico patay sa military operation.
Samtang GFC kingkakas ang ila advisory angot sa linog nga nagluntad sa Thailand. Sa negosyo, target digital payments sang Pilipinas posible nga hindi maglabot sa 2028 suno sa BSP.
Sa hinampang 2026 Olympic Winter Games, nagtakop sa Verona, Italy. Samtang sa showbiz, Catherine Bernardo nagpasalamat sa iya fans sa pagrespeto sang iya mga personal nga desisyon.
Sa balita at serbisyo, Live Radio Iloilo ang sandigan mo. DYRP 17 kHz AM sa inyo mga radyo.
Alas 5:13 na sa hapon, padayon kamong pamati sa Live News Afternoon Edition. At di sa mga detalye sa itong ipang-headlines, so nakita sa uling lakatsang panahon. Wala sang na-monitor nga bago kon bagyo. Wala sang may na-monitor nga bagyo kon low pressure area sa sulod kagwa sang Philippine Area of Responsibility base sa pinakauli nga bulletin sa Weather Bureau. Northeast monsoon sa northern kag central Luzon samtang easterlies naman argapekto sa nabilin nga bahin sa pungsod. Sa Western Visayas kinapaabot ang maayo nga panahon pero posible ang lapta-lapta nga pagulan pagbangilat kapag barago o bangod sa easterlies. Mainit tubtob kasarangan ng hangin nga nagdala sang makanay tubtob kasarangan nga pagbalod sa kadagatan. Ang temperatura sa Iloilo yara sa 24 to 28 degrees centigrado. Ang adlaw magatunod alas 5:59 subong nga hapon. Kag magabutla kala sa 7 buwas sa aga.
Radio.
Ang oras, las 5:14 na sa hapon. Sa detalye na sa balita lokal, Wa ang liog sang nasapwan nga patay sa likod sang ginatukod nga gasoline station ang construction worker sa barangay Balabago, Alimujan, Iloilo, las 7:30 kaina sang aga. Ginkilala ang biktima kay alias Marvin, 49 anyos, sang barangay Sinamay, Alimujan, Iloilo. Suno kay Police Captain Chris Lerjan Ledesma, ang Chief of Police sang Alimujan Municipal Police Station, ginpahayag niya nga nakita sang upod sang biktima nga dugoon na ang panday. Makita sa tambara kag pader ang madamo nga dugo samtang ispading sa ibabaw nga porsyon malapit sa ulo sang biktima. Dugang pa ni Ledesma nga santo sa investigasyon, wala sang malain nga record ang biktima, wala sang kontra kag mabuot suno man sa iya nga mga kaupdanan. Natala na nga ipaidalom sa autopsy ang bangkay agud matumod kung may foul play o kung wala. Nagapadayon ang investigasyon sang Alimujan MPS sa natabo nga insidente.
Sa kangot nga balita, wala sang kontra mapisan kababuot ang iya bana. Ini ang panindugan ni alias Miriam, 47 anyos, asawa ni Marvin, ang construction worker nga nasapan patay sa likod sa ginatukod nga gasoline station sa barangay Balabago, Alimujan, Iloilo, kinasang aga. Dugang pa niya, kampante siya sa mga upod sa trabaho sang iya bana apisar, nga isa kabulan pa lang siya nga nag-uobra sa construction site.
Sir, pati ka buot, pati ka pisan na tao.
Sa pagtul...
Sa way, bisan mga upod na sa obra, sir, lambal nga way iti isa way.
Si Miriam nga asawa sa construction worker sa exclusive interview sa DYRP Live Radio Iloilo. Apang may insidente nga makita nila nga masaming nakulbaan si Marvin sa diin, hindi na niya, or kung hindi na siya makatulog ka makakaon sa Mayo, o pisa sa nadakpan ng Abyan niya, sa drug buy-bust operation.
Nabaybas ang migo nga best friend niya gid blaser. Amo na to umpisahan niya hindi ta nakaturog. Tapos way tiga na makaon. Ino sa way kumandan ba ko ano yung mukulbaan kay way man Timothy labot dito. Kaya no, hindi bala mapunggan pati bata naman sir gapangakid na ano yung mupapasagi pakulba. Kaya way ka man din tra dito tapos gindakop na to gani para hindi na makahalit sa iban.
Ang dugang apayag ni Miriam, ang asawa sa construction worker nga okon nasapuan patay kay na sa aga. Para sayon pa sa asawa wala nakapoli si Marvin kagabi kag nagdahom siya dito lang nagtulog sa iya nga ginaobrahan apang kinasang aga sa nagpadulong ang iya isa ka batang upod man obra sang iya amay nilang siya nga nagpauli liwat kagin barita sa Iloy nga nasapuan patay si Marvin.
Sa dugang nga balita lokal, ginbuyagyag sang live-in partner nga tuman kaimunan ang gwardya nga suspect sa pagbuno patay sa construction worker sa barangay Divinigracia, Lapas, Iloilo City pasado las 8 kagabi. Sa interview sang DYRP Live Radio Iloilo kay Lenny Apostol, ang live-in partner sang suspect suno sa iya, halos tanan nga ginainuman sang gwardya bisan pa ang mga barkada niya mga babayi.
Ang intelektual yan, may pwede ka nubuang yang IQ.
Imon sa katama? Hindi na ni isa ang first time ang ginimulan niya yung si
Oo damo na sir.
Cemetery.
Pating grupo ko kani nga mga bayi kay permi kami galagaw, permi kami nagalakat, permi kami naga-picture nga gusto ay mamangupod. Mo po kayo mga girls to obsession sa hindi na pagpalangga.
Ang kabahin sa pahayag ni Lenny Apostol nga live-in partner sang suspect. Pahayag pa niya, hindi na niya luyag nga balikan pa ang live-in partner bangod nga delikado para sa ila kabataan, subong nga may criminal instinct na ang gwardya.
Hindi kuya sir, hindi na kuya. Naddo kuya sa tao nga do criminal instinct. Anytime niya basi magtulog kami sa kabataan ko, delikado kami. Kagi na saya buno. Hindi na nasaya, yan normal na nasaya. Wala na sa record bala. Ambutan mo lang to, kung hindi na mo pagpalangga, obsession na. Ay kung obsess ka, mapatay ka sa tao.
Ang duga nga pahayag ni Lenny Apostol nga live-in partner sang suspect. Ginalantaw sang kapulisan nga pagpangimon ang motibo sa krimen sa diin ginapahayag nagapati ang suspect nga may relasyon ang biktima kag ang iya nga live-in partner.
Sa dugang pagid sa aton nga mga balita gain pa siguro ni General Services Office GSO Head Engineer Niel Ravena nga ginadumalahan sang maayo sang okon ang sanitary landfill sa barangay Kalahunan, Mandurriao, Iloilo City. Ginhimo ni Ravena ang payag kasunod sang sunod-sunod nga pagkolaps sang sanitary landfill sa Binaliw, Cebu City. Kag Rodriguez Rizal sa rin, hindi magdubo sa 37 katawo ang kabugusan nga napatay. Sa interview sang DYRP Live Radio Iloilo ginpayag ni Ravena nga regular nga gin-check kag ginamonitor sang DNR okon sa Environmental Management Bureau ang sanitary landfill sa Kalahunan. Suno kay Ravena, ginbakho kag may ginahimo nga disenyo sa landfill sa tuman sa requirements ng DNR para masiguro nga hindi matipag.
It is required nga i-bench siya kag slope para hindi matipag. So ang unang aton nga operate adlaw-adlaw gid no. So the reason why nga may mga heavy equipment kita para hindi hindi magtariyo sa ila nga natabo. No?
Si GSO Head Engineer Niel Ravena sa interview sa DYRP Live Radio Iloilo. Samtang ginahimo ang nasambit nga proseso suno kay Ravena, hindi balikawan nga makapanimaho gid ang mga pumuluyo. Dugang pa ni Ravena nga 170 ka truck sa basura ginabaton sang Kalahunan sanitary landfill kada adlaw. Ang landfill ang nagalapad sang 23 hektaryas. Nagabakalaman ang GSO sa duta kon mountain soil para itampok sa mga basura.
Sa kaangot nga balita, ginsaysay sang General Services Office sa GSO sang Iloilo City Government ang proseso nga nagakatabo sa Kalahunan Sanitary Landfill sa Barangay Kalahunan, Mandurriao, Iloilo City kun nga amay mga tion nga mapanimahuan sang mga pumuluyo ang baho halin sa lugar. Sa interview sang DYRP Live Radio Iloilo kay GSO Head Niel Ravena, iyagin pahayag nga required sila nga islope kag i-benching ang landfill kaangay sang rice terraces para hindi marumpag. Tungod ginalukad sang bako ang duta, mapanimahuan ang basura suno kay Ravena. Sa tion nga matapos na ang nasambit nga proseso, gilayo naman ini nga tampukan sang duta.
So amo na nga nagabaho siya kay bako na. Kaya kung able to sound mo lang tani, okay lang, so hindi kawa mo nakabaho. Pero kung lokasod kitang pako, amo na baho na siya. So, amo na, no? From time to time, hindi man siya na-straight kita sa binaho. But there are hours nga amo na panimaho siya because sa benching na. So, after sina, amo pagtampok tuta. Kaya hindi ka pwede magtampok tuta na wala mo siya mas-slope.
Ang kabahin sa payag ni Gesso Head Engineer Niel Ravena. Suno kay Ravena nga ilagid ginatinguhaan nga mapahagan-hagan ang baho sa landfill samtang ginahimo ang sloping kag benching. Samtang nagalao man siya nga maka-operate na ang Integrated Solid Waste Management Facility sa Barangay Ingore, La Paz sa ulihing nga bahin sang 2027. Paagi sini suno sa iya maproseso ang mga basura para mag-produce sang elektrisidad kag magauntat naman ang pag-ula sang basura sa Kalonan Sanitary Landfill.
Alas 5:22 na sa hapon. Magapadayon ng road clearing operation sa Lilo City Traffic and Transportation Management Office sa TTMO sa tiyon sang Association of Southeast Asian Nations o ASEAN meetings. Sa interview sa DYRP, Live Radio Iloilo kay TTMO Head Olderco Garbanzos, iyagay payag gabisan may ASEAN meeting, hindi sila maguntat sa road clearing operations. Lakip sa imoon sa TTMO, ang random checking sa mga modernized jeepney. Agod na saon kung overloaded bilang pagsunod sa anti-sardinas policy o kung anti-access passenger ordinance. Angot sini masubra pulo na ka-citation tickets ang gindagdag sang TTMO bangod sa overloading. Parindugan ni Garbanzos bisan wala sang ASEAN meetings sa syudad nagahimo ang TTMO sa operasyon batok sa illegal parking, overloading o kung anuman nga mga pagbayular sa mga pagsulundan sa dalanon.
Hindi sila magtataka kay may mga delegates kita or may mga security convoy package nga mag-aagi diri sa aton nga mga main thoroughfares. Tapos ay may mga bisita kita diri nga mga internasyonal, so dapat ani ipakita taman nga kung ikaw motorista, disiplinado ikaw nga usar sang aton ni dalanon, disiplinado ikaw nga driver.
Si TTMO Head Olderco Garbanzo sa interview sa DYRP Live Radio Iloilo.
Sa iban pa nga balita lokal, nagapangabay ang Bureau of Fire Protection o BFE Iloilo City sa mga barangay officials nga i-regulate ang pagpark sa mga salakyan sa mga barangay roads. Sa interview sa DYRP Live Radio Iloilo kay SFO1 Denmark Makoko, ang Chief of Intelligence and Investigations sa BFE Iloilo City, ginpayag niya nga hindi lang ini makahatag sang digwa sa mga bombero sa tion sang sunog, kundi sa tanan nga emergency vehicles sa tion nga may mga emerhensya.
Pangayawid kami bulig sa mga barangay officials na medyo nga i-regulate man ang pag-park sa mga salakyan sa inyong mga barangay road, mga karsada nga para sa inyong barangay at hindi tama paktan kung saan ang sunog mo o saan ang mga emergency. Actually, hindi malang fire truck ang emergency vehicle.
Ang kabahin sa pahayag na SFO1 Denmark Makoko, Chief Intelligence and Investigation sa BFE Iloilo City. Nagapanawagan man siya sa mga tag-iyasang salakyan nga mangin responsable kaglikawan ang mag-double park. Sang damlag lang, nadugayan ang pag-responder sang mga bombero sa sunog sa barangay Benedicto Haro tungod hindi makalusot ang ila fire truck sa makitid nga alagyan sa diin may mga nagapark nga mga salakyan.
Sa piyakabahin pilaso ng driver kag back rider sa nakabunggo ang ginasakyan nila nga motorsiklo sa nagapalikong SUV sa barangay Merced, Banati, Iloilo. Alas 8 sang aga, Pebrero 23. Ginkalang driver sa motorsiklo kay alias Ray, residente sa barangay Pangi sa Dionisio, Iloilo. Samtang ginkalang driver sa SUV kay alias Dante, 59 anyos, kay residente sa barangay San Antonio, Baratak, Viejo, Iloilo. Sa interview sa DYRP, Live Radio Iloilo kay Police Lieutenant Johnny Pundak, Deputy Chief of Police ang Banati Municipal Police Station, ginpayag niya, alin sa parehong direksyon ng duha ka mga salakyan, sang naghahana nga mag-U-turn ang SUV, kay nakabunggo ang nagapadulong nga motorsiklo. Bangod sa impact, nakaagam sang minor nga pila sang driver kagang kasini, kagalayon nga gindapatan sang pagbulong. Ginariglo ang magtimbang abahin sang angot sa natabo. Sa balita naman sa Negros, arestado ang mag-Iloy sa drug buy-bust operation
sa Purok Progreso 1, Barangay Vesta Alegre, Bacolod City, kagabi. Nakuha sa Mag-Iloy nga Sanday alias Esmeralda, 49 anyos, kag alias Quincy Escala, 25 anyos, ang 60 gramos sang suspected shabu. Nakuha pa sa ila ang 5 ka heat seal, transparent plastic sachets, kag isa ka nut-tied transparent plastic bag sang suspected shabu, 1,000 pesos nga buy-bust money kag iban pa nga mga non-drug items. Nagabalor sang 408,000 pesos ang nasambit nga illegal drugs nga na-recover sang mga katapo sang City Drug Enforcement Unit o kon CDEU sa Mag-Iloy nga lunsay mga wala sang trabaho. Detained na sila nga duha sa police station. Ang mga balita lokal ginadulong sa aton sang Life Extension Vitamin D3. Maginom sang Life Extension Vitamin D3 duha tubtob 3 ka soft gel kada adlaw or 1 capsule every after meal. Makabulig ang regular supplementation sang Life Extension Vitamin D3 agud magbaskog ang aton immune system kag subong man makalikaw kita sa mga sakit. Ini ang 100% nga himo sa USA nga ginmanufacture sang Life Extension Foundation sa Florida, USA in accordance with GMP or Good Manufacturing Practice sa Quality Control Standard. Sa pagbakal, pangitagid ang may tatak LE sa kada soft gel sang Life Extension Vitamin D3 agud makalikaw sa peke. Ang Life Extension Vitamin D3 ang mabakal sa mga butika kag sa mga Life Extension Medical Clinics and Pharmacies nationwide. Ang oras, las 5:27.
DYRPGS 17 AM para sa balita na may integridad at prinsipyo. Live Radio Iloilo.
Ang FF Cruise Shipping Corporation nagapadayon sa ila pagserbisyo sa mga pasahero na gusto magpadulong sa Negros Island via Ahoy, Iloilo pakadto sa EB Magalona and vice versa. Ang mga temporary schedules of FF Cruise roll-on roll-off trips halin Lunes tub-tub Domingo sang kada semana amo ang mga masunod. Ahoy, Iloilo to EB Magalona, Negros Occidental, alas 5 sa aga, alas 9 sa aga, ala 1 sa hapon, kag alas 5 sa hapon. EB Magalona, Negros Occidental to Ahoy, Iloilo, alas 7 sa aga, alas 11 sa aga, alas 3 sa hapon, kag alas 7 sa gabi. Ang amon mga Roro vessels, officers and crews komitido sa pagpangalagad sa inyo 24/7 para sa memorable, comfortable, kag safe na pagbiyahe. FF Cruise Shipping Corporation.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories.
From powerful interviews to trending topics.
DYRP Live Radio Iloilo has it all.
And we are just getting started.
Tune in to Live Radio Iloilo programs.
From Monday to Saturday, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. in Bukada sa Aga.
6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Live News Morning Edition.
7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Punto por punto. Just 17.
9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Live Extension Program.
10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Viral, real or scripted.
11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Live Radio Regional News.
11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Iloilo in Focus.
1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's live.
3 p.m. to 3:05 p.m. Live News Break.
3:05 p.m. to 4 p.m. Presinto Just 17.
4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Barangay Just 17.
5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Live News Afternoon Edition.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Crossfire.
8 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. 10:17 Evening Patrol.
9:45 p.m. to 10 p.m. Live Rosary. Para sa balita na may integridad
at prinsipyo,
Live Radio.
Pomity Capsule. Pomity. Kamusta mga abyan? Ini nga programa ang ginadulong sang Confluence Health and Wellness Products, ang exclusive distributor sang Life Extension Vitamin D3 diri sa Pilipinas. Kag subong atong ginapakilala, Pomity Capsule. Isa ka super antioxidant nga kapsula himo gikan sa pomegranate fruit, green tea, curcumin kag broccoli. Ang Pomity himo sa mga scientists, medical doctors kag nutritionists sa Europa. Para sa inyong mga palamangkutanon, mag-text lang sa 0917-318-1720. Subong, aton pamatian si Sir Jonathan Granada.
Masayt na naman kita sa isa ka pagtuon nga gin-publish ini siya sa Journal of Nursing and Women's Health sa UK in February 22, 2022 kung sa diin nag-recruit na naman sang mga cancer patients. 44 ka mga kababaihan nga may ara nga lain-lain nga sahi sang cancer. Ang edad nila ara sa 26 to 62 years old. Ini sila ginpagamit sang Pomity for 2 years. Gin-check ang improvement sang ilang nga kondisyon. Ining mga kababaihan nga may mga cancer, nagareklamo nga sila ang nakabatsyag sang pagpalanakit sang ilang nga lawas. Ang mood nila is affected, may hot flashes kag almost hindi sila kahulag. After taking Pomity for 2 months, hindi sila tanan ang nakabatsyag sang improvement. Nadula ang hot flashes, nadula ang pagpalanghugot sang ilang nga mga kaugatan, ang pain nga nabatsyagan nila sa different parts ng lawas nila, nag-improve ang mobility, meaning makahulag na sila unlike before. Ang ilang nga mood nag-improve sang sila ang nag-take sang Pomity for just 2 months time. So diri nagapakita nga ang Pomity is makabulig, especially for cancer patients. Kag ang Pomity is listed sa National Cancer Institute sa US magamit sang 16 years old and above, kag ini is recommended for both men and women. Pomity, the anti-cancer polyphenol, kag the super antioxidant.
Tandaan, Pomity, the anti-cancer polyphenol and the super antioxidant capsule. De kalidad kag sigurado nga epektibo batok sa mga balatian. Highly recommended sa aton mga licensed medical doctors sa tanan nga mga life extension medical clinics and pharmacies. Pomity Capsule, mabakal sa mga butika. Pomity Capsule. Pomity. Vita D Plus Coffee Mix.
I would recommend my favorite coffee, Vita D Plus Coffee Mix. So may kape ka na, may vitamin D3 ka pa, may reishi mushroom extract, kag may mangosteen fruit extract. Kung imoy combine ini nga tatlo, may ara ini siya synergistic na benepisyo para sa aton nga ikaayong lawas. Ini si Dr. Marpa, kag sa tanan, may adlaw.
Vita D Plus Coffee Mix. Super Fiber.
Super Fiber, isa ka di kalidad, epektibo, garantisado ini siya makabyanan para sa matinlo nga kolon, para mapalayo kita sa risgo nga kita matubuan sa cancer sa kolon naton. Mag-inom adlaw-adlaw sang Super Fiber.
The fast-acting colon cleansing product approved by the FDA Philippines para sa masulhay ng pagpamuhin. Super Fiber, mabakal sa mga butika. Kung kamo nagapangita sa isa ka clinically proven kag scientifically validated nga produkto, ginapakilala ang Pomity. Ginhimo sang grupo sa mga medical doctors, scientists kag nutritionists kag ginapangunahan ni Dr. Robert Thomas ng Cambridge University Hospital sa UK. Sigurado kag makabulig sang dako para matagaan kita proteksyon sa pagtugas ang cancer sa aton lawas. Pomity. Available sa mga butika. Life Extension Vitamin D3.
Pwede ba makausap si Ma'am Delia Flores?
Oo, nagkaroon ako ng brain stroke, tapos nahirapan ako ng pagsalita, paglakad. Sa kadami-dami ng mga gamot na binigay sa doktor, 21 kaklase na gamot.
Hindi po kayo gumaling?
Oh, hindi. Hanggat na lumaki, nag-heart enlargement na naman ako. Vitamin D3, life extension lang talaga ang gagamitin ko. Okay talaga sa buhay ko dahil gumaling ng dahil sa life extension, vitamin D3.
Life Extension Vitamin D3 for longer life. Life Extension Vitamin D3. Ang pambansang vitamin D3 nga ginasaligan sa mga medical doctors sa patag sa prevention sa mga lifestyle diseases kag pagpasaka sa aton immune system batok sa virus.
And Dr. Suzette C.
Ito po si Dr. Berniong.
Ako si Dr. Faye Abigail Fortich.
Ako po si Dr. Manfred Marpa.
I'm Dr. Michael Smith. I'm a medical doctor and senior health scientist of the Life Extension Foundation, USA.
Life Extension Vitamin D3.
Life Extension Vitamin D3, the #1 trusted brand of vitamin D3 by the medical doctors in the Philippines. Life Extension Vitamin Vitamin D3, the science of a healthier life. Kung kamo nagapangita sa isa ka clinically proven kag scientifically validated nga produkto luwas sa paggamit sa life extension vitamin D3, ginapakilala ang POMI-T. POMI-T ginhimo sang grupo sa mga medical doctors, scientists kag nutritionists kag ginapangunahan ni Dr. Robert Thomas ng Cambridge University Hospital sa UK. Sigurado kag makabulig sang dako para matagaan kita proteksyon sa pagtugas ang cancer sa aton lawas. POMI-T. POMI-T available sa mga butika. Highly recommended sa mga medical doctors diri sa Life Extension Medical Clinics. Vita D Plus Coffee Mix. Kabalo ba na kamo nga ang Vita D Plus Coffee Mix ang nagabalik na pinakauna nga kape nga may vitamin D3 with wide-ranging benefits? Ginsamuan pagid sang reishi mushroom, ang mushroom of immortality, kag mangosteen fruit extract para sa ikayong lawas. Ang Vita D Plus Coffee Mix hindi lang basta kape. Saboroso kag may alibyo sa lawas mo. For me, the healthiest coffee. May kape ka na, may vitamin D3 ka pa. Vita D Plus Coffee Mix fortified with vitamin D3.
Dok, pa-check up ko. Manog isa na kasi mana nga wala ko kapamuhin.
Sir, kung ikaw may problema sa digestion, dapat seryosohon. It will lead to colon cancer. Isa sa pinakamakalamatan nga balatian. Are, mag-inom sang super fiber, a unique scientific formulation sang nagkalain-lain nga plant fibers, prebiotics kag alkaline food nga may makagagahom nga epekto para sa ikayong lawas mo. Imnon ang super fiber 1 to 2 times a day, 15 minutes before breakfast or before sleep daily. Mas healthy bagid kung mag-inom sang Life Extension Vitamin D3 kada tapos kaon. The fast-acting colon cleansing product approved by the FDA Philippines. Para sa masulhay ng pagpamuhi, Super Fiber. Super Fiber. Mabakal sa mga butika.
Ako si Dr. Faye Abigail Fortich, isang private medical doctor. Ang Life Extension Vitamin D3 ay isang vitamin hormone na sumusuporta sa pagprotekta laban sa sakit na cancer. Ang Life Extension Vitamin D3 ay mabisa rin sa pag-control ang blood sugar level, lalo na sa mga diabetic patients at iba pa. Ang Life Extension Vitamin D3 ay dekalidad, puro at epektibo na food supplement na kailangan natin araw-araw. Kaya as a medical doctor, inaanyayahan ko kayong lahat sa pag-inom ng Life Extension Vitamin D3.
Alas 5:37 na sa hapon. Sa balita nasyonal, nag-collapse ang kung sa makaduha ka beses si Anay Presidente Rodrigo Duterte samtang yara siya sa detention sa The Hague sa Netherlands sunod sa iya abogado nga si Nicholas Kaufman. Kinpayag ni Kaufman nga nagaanto si Duterte sang short-term memory loss tugang pa ni Kaufman nga nag-file sa separado nga medical report agod suportahan ang ilang pangabay para sa interim release ni Duterte matapos gibasura sa korte ang una ebidensya parte sa iya physical kag cognitive vulnerabilities. Gilaragway niya nga ang anay presidente nga mas maluya, mas tigulang tanawon kag may neurological nga problema nga naangot sa edad. Samtang hibuksan sa International Criminal Court o ICC ang confirmation of charges hearing agod hibaloon kung dapat bala atubangon ni Duterte ang hearing bangod sa ginapayag nga krimen kontra sa katawhan nga naangot sa iya kampanya kontra illegal nga droga. Kabahin man sa proseso sa pag-review sa detention kag kung fit pa siya nga magpartisipar sa mga proceedings. Kinpabot sa prosekusyon nga ipresentar ang ebidensya na angot sa mga polisiya sa administrasyon ni Duterte ginabanta nga linibo nga extrajudicial killing samtang ang depensa bagatag sang ila argumento kag sabat nga mga akusasyon.
Sa dugang nga balita nasyonal, nagprotesta ang mga supporters ni Anay Presidente Rodrigo Duterte sa guwasang Supreme Court pila ka oras antes ang iya confirmation of charges hearing sa International Criminal Court kon ICC. Sunod kay Wendell Cabrera, convenor sang DDS Sarah All Confederation, nga magasumiter sila sang sulat sa High Court nga mas ukon nga may masobra sa 1 milyon nga perma nga nagapangayo sang Supreme Court nga aksyonan ang pending nga petisyon nga nagahingyo sang pagbalik kay Duterte sa pungsod. Kasunod sang pag-aresto kay Duterte sang Marso 2025 kag sang pagsaylo sa iya sa ICC, naghingyo si Duterte kag si Senator Ronald de la Rosa sa Korte Suprema nga dumilian ang Philippine government sa pag-operar sa ICC kag Interpol. Nagapabilin man nga pending ang mga petisyon sang kabataan ni Duterte. Dugang pa ni Cabrera nga grave injustice ang ginhimo sang anay presidente. Payag man niya nga ang signature campaign ang ginhimo nga wala sang suporta sang dako nga mga politiko.
6 Sa hapon, nagpagkikita si Presidente Bongbong Marcos Jr. sa mga alkalde kag mga gobernador ug pangunahan ng paglunsar sa bagong Pilipinas bawat bayan makinabang program. Sa dalam sa kamong inisyatibo ang suporta sa national government sa mga local units ang mas mabakod sa mga mas badase nga roll-out sa local government support fund. Kay pakibay ni Marcos nga gintaasa nila sang masobra 34 billion pesos ang ilang LGSF para sa 2026 gani naglabot ini sa kapin 58 billion pesos sa among programa mahimo na nga magdiretso ang mga LGUs sa ilang mag-request ang fund halin sa LSGF para sa mga programang makabulig sa komunidad. Pila sa nagtambong ang Bosantay, Naga City Mayor Lene Robredo, Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto, Mayor Isko Moreno, kag Quezon City Mayor Bel Monte.
Sa katapusan nga balita national, iga-deploy sa National Capital Region Police Office ang 13,448 ka personnel sa bugos nga Metro Manila bilang pagpanghanda sa seguridad para sa EDSA commemoration kag sa ikatatlo nga trilyon peso march. Ginpahayag sang Tindig Pilipinas nga ginapaabot nila ang masobra 30,000 ka individual nga magaupod sa trilyon peso march sa Pebrero 25 kadungan sang EDSA People Power Anniversary. Magabaton man ang NCPRO sang 1.5 ka augmentation personnel halin sa Police Regional Office 3 kag 1.5 halin sa Police Regional Office 4A. Iga-mobilize man ang Civil Disturbance Management Units, Mobile Patrol Teams, Intelligence Operatives kag Force Multipliers agod mas mapasangkad ang police visibility kag masiguro ang ila operational flexibility. Ginpasiguro man ni NCPRO Chief Major General Anthony Abyan ang publiko nga respetohon sang kapulisan ang ila kinamatarong sa Peaceful Assembly.
Dalagid na, Abyan Rose, alas 5:42 na sa hapon. I-check nato na itong correction dito no, sa International Criminal Court angot siring confirmation of charges angot sa kaso ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So siniman nga mga teriyo, no? Aton siring technical. Audio please, audio.
Murder of 19 victims alleged to be criminals, including 3 children, who were killed in or around Davao City in the Philippines between 2013 and around 2016 by members of the Davao Death Squad. While Mr. Duterte was the mayor of the Davao City pursuant to Article 71A of the Rome Statute. Count 2. Murder of 14 victims labeled as high-value targets for their alleged criminality, who were killed in locations across the Philippines between around July 2016 and July 2017 by a network of perpetrators comprising state actors and others, referred to as the National Network, while Mr. Duterte was the President of the Philippines pursuant to Article 71A of the Rome Statute. And count 3. Murder and attempted murder of 45 victims, comprising 43 murders and 2 attempted murders of persons alleged to be criminals, including 3 children who were targeted in barangay clearance operations in locations across the Philippines between around July 2016 and September 2018 by members of the National Network, while Mr. Duterte was the President of the Philippines pursuant to Articles 71A and 25(3)(f in respect of the attempted murder of the Rome Statute. The prosecution alleges that Mr. Duterte is individually criminally responsible for all 3 of the above counts as follows. First, as an indirect co-perpetrator pursuant to Article 25(3)(a) of the Rome Statute. At least between 1st November 2011 and 16 March 2019, Mr. Duterte and his co-perpetrators shared a common plan to neutralize alleged criminals in the Philippines, including individuals perceived or alleged to be associated with drug use, sale, or production, through violent crimes including murder. Mr. Duterte and his co-perpetrators implemented this common plan through the hierarchically organized structures of the Davao City Police and Davao Death Squad, and then the national network. Within the framework of the common plan, Mr. Duterte made essential contributions to the crimes in counts 1 to 3 by A. Designing and disseminating the police to neutralize alleged criminals, both in his role as a mayor of the Davao City and also during his presidential campaign and as a president, including by endorsing the anti-illegal drugs campaign Double Barrel. B. Establishing and overseeing the DDS. C. Instructing and authorizing violent acts, including murder, to be committed against alleged criminals, including alleged drug dealers and users. D. Providing personnel and other necessary logistic resources such as weapons, including those to be used in the execution of the crimes. E. Appointing key personnel to positions which were crucial to the execution of the crimes. F. Offering financial incentives and promotions to police officers and hitmen to kill alleged criminals. G. Creating and maintaining a system in which perpetrators knew they would be protected, including through promises of immunity and shielding perpetrators from investigation and prosecutions. H. Making public statements authorizing, condoning, and encouraging killings of alleged criminals, both as a mayor of the Davao City and as a president of the Philippines. I. Authorizing state actors to take part in the anti-drugs campaign and temporarily revoking such authorization, including to placate public outcry. J. Publicly naming individuals and holding up charts from lists of alleged criminals, including so-called high-value targets, some of whom were subsequently killed. Second, in the alternative, Mr. Duterte is charged with ordering and/or inducing the charged crimes pursuant to Article 25(3)(b) of the Rome Statute, and/or aiding and abetting these crimes pursuant to Article 25(3)(c) of the Rome Statute.
Merci, Madame la Greffière.
Thank you, Madam Courtroom Officer.
Life News.
With regard to objections and observations under Rule 122, Paragraph 3 of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, the Chamber notes that the defense submitted a number of written observations, and the last of which was on the 16th of February 2026, to which the OTP and the legal representatives of victims responded, respectively, on the 17th and the 18th of February 2026. On the 20th of February 2026, the Chamber dismissed, in its public decision, the defence's objections. In specifying that the defense and the Office of the Prosecutor are not permitted to reiterate the same arguments already presented in the filings mentioned, that they filed to date in this case, I will now ask if the parties wish to make any oral submissions on this point before moving to the opening statements. Mr. Deputy Prosecutor? Mr. Nyang, we do not have any submissions to make in this regard. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Prosecutor. Counsel?
Merci beaucoup, Maître Kaufmann. Donc, on peut maintenant passer à la phase.
So we can now move on to stage 2.
Okay, stage 2 na, no? Kabay lagi nga recap na kabyanan.
Opening statements.
Sa aton
And
si
I hand
Mokoturan.
over to the Office of the Prosecutor. Mr. Deputy Prosecutor.
Ang pagbasa no sa mga charges against sa former
Madam
president.
President.
Okay, lagi pamatian tanay.
Honorable member of the bench, all those following these proceedings inside the courtroom and outside, and especially those in the Philippines. Today marks an important day for international justice for the people of the Philippines, for the victims, and for this court. The commencement of the confirmation hearing against Mr. Rodrigo Roa Duterte is a reminder of the court's unwavering commitment to its mission to investigate and prosecute individuals for the most serious crimes of concern to the international community and to bring justice to the thousands of victims of the mass crimes and atrocities perpetrated in the Philippines. It is also a reminder that those in power are not above the law. Your Honors, over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, I will provide an overview of the evidence in this case that demonstrates that Mr. Duterte is responsible for the charged crimes. And my team will then develop aspects of this evidence in more details. This case before you today, it is before you today because there are substantial ground to believe that Mr. Duterte is criminally responsible for those 3 counts of murder just spelled out and attempted murder as crimes against humanity. These charged crimes were committed during the time within the court jurisdiction, which is between the 1st of November 2011 and the 16th of March 2019. At first, they were committed in and around Davao City, where Mr. Duterte was a mayor, and then expanded across the rest of the Philippines when he became president. Mr. Duterte is charged with 49 incidents of murder and attempted murder of 78 victims, including children. These murders and attempted murders were part of a widespread and systematic attack that overall resulted in the killings of thousands of civilians across the country during the relevant time frame. Thus, the charged incidents are merely a fraction of the overall criminality that resulted from Mr. Duterte's so-called war on drugs. What is Mr. Duterte's core contribution? Your Honors, Mr. Duterte played a pivotal role in the commission of the charged crimes. His contribution was essential, as he was at the very heart of the common plan to use his words, to neutralize alleged criminals in the Philippines, including through murders. The victim included individuals associated with or perceived to be associated with drugs. One of the first things Mr. Duterte did when he became the mayor of Davao back in 1988 was to create the infamous Davao Death Squad, otherwise known as DDS. As you will have seen from the prosecution pre-confirmation brief, Mr. Duterte personally instructed Death Squad members that their mission was to kill criminals and suspected criminals, including drug users and dealers, also referred to as drug pushers. The death squads carried out this mission well into the charge period through 2011 to 2016, perpetrating the crimes charged in count 1. Your Honors, Mr. Duterte's criminal plan and his intent were no secret. He not only shared them with his co-perpetrators and members of the death squad, but also made them abundantly clear to the general public in the numerous public statements that he made time and again. During his presidential campaign, Mr. Duterte explicitly vowed to implement the common plan to neutralize alleged criminal nationwide if elected. This was his program to be elected. He publicly announced his intention to eradicate corruption, criminality, and drugs in 3 to 6 months. And this is what he said. I quote, "If I become the president, I will order the military and the police to hunt down the drug lords, the big ones, and kill them." That's what he said. And this can be found at tab 12 of the prosecution list of material. Similarly, when speaking about druggies, I quote, in a televised interview in 2015, this is again what he said. "If I become president, you will all get wiped out. I will order your execution within 24 hours. That's what he said. That I quote directly from his word. And this quote can be found at tab 19.2 of the prosecution list of materials, ERN PHL OTP 401684, page 003, and lines, these are the lines 82 and 83. And elected he was. And becoming president on 13th of June 2016, this provided him with the opportunity to follow through with his promise and to expand extrajudicial killings of alleged criminals beyond Davao and across the rest of the Philippines. He did this through the implementation of the National Anti-Illegal Drug Campaign, better known as Duterte's War on Drug, and its project, Double Barrel. These were carried out by the national network consisting of law enforcement personnel working together with non-police assets and hitmen. Mr. Duterte authorized murder and personally selected some of the targets. During the mayoral period, when he was mayor, his clearance was required for the DDS to carry out the killings. Essentially, members of the DDS needed Mr. Duterte's green light to murder. And during the presidential period, Mr. Duterte has continued to personally identify some of the targets, including by publicly naming those he claimed were involved in illegal drug trade or in other forms of criminality. He also identified targets by holding up a list containing their name. And if you are on the list, you will be killed. And this was a word of one prosecution witness. And this evidence can be found at tab 54 of the prosecution list of materials. ERN PHL OTP 000015486, page 0009, and the relevant lines are 260 to 261. Mr. Duterte provided moral and financial support to the direct perpetrators as well. In a 12 December 2016 speech, Mr. Duterte admitted that he used to ride around Davao on a motorcycle looking for trouble, so he could kill. And he said, and this again his own word I'm quoting here, in Davao, I used to do it personally, just to show the guy that if I can do it, why can't you? And these are his own words. And this quote can be found at tab 16.1 of the prosecution list of material, ERN PHL OTP 000015547 at 0002 lines 7 and 8. And the evidence show that Mr. Duterte's Davao City Mayor office provided some member of the DDS with a regular salary. Financial rewards were also given to direct perpetrators in the form of cash per head of killing. And at a press conference in 2013, Mr. Duterte stated that shoot to kill orders and reward are, and I quote him, are legitimate tools of government to fight lawlessness. This is his own word. And if he surrendered to me or his carcass dead, then I double the price. And again, yeah, and that was what he boasted. This quote can be found at tab 17.2 of the prosecution list of materials, PHL OTP 000094932 at 0002, and the relevant lines are lines 7 to 11. Deaths of drug personalities killed in anti-drug operation were endorsed by Mr. Duterte's administration and listed as official accomplishment in public reporting. Your Honors, as you will have seen from our confirmation brief, Mr. Duterte also provided the direct perpetrators with weapons, ammunition, and logistical support to facilitate the commission of the charged crime. And he also had control, wide control over those crimes. And let me now turn specifically to that control. As mayor of Davao and later as president of the Philippines, Mr. Duterte wielded ultimate influence and authority over the physical perpetrators of the crimes. As mayor, Mr. Duterte was chief executive of the Davao city government, with responsibility for exercising general supervision and control over all its activities. He had formal operational supervision and control over National Police Unit in Davao. As creator and head of the DDS, he also had de facto control over the death squad's members. When Mr. Duterte became president on the 30th of June 2016, he sat at the very apex of the political power structure in the Philippines. He became the head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief of all armed forces of the Philippines. He also became the leader of the country's police forces. This level of authority allowed him to wield de jure and de facto control over those implementing the common plan nationwide. Mr. Duterte's control over the crime is also apparent from his ability to interrupt their commission when he so chooses. And as outlined in our reconfirmation brief, he successfully suspended police anti-illegal drug operation on 2 occasions following public outcries in response to particularly notorious killings. On both occasions, the number of reported killings dropped significantly during the suspension, showcasing his control. So when he asks people to act, they act. When he asks them to refrain, they do so. So they oblige. So Mr. Duterte was well aware of the authority he had over the perpetrators. In a speech given to the National Bureau of Investigation in November 2016, he expressly acknowledged his position of power. And this is what he said. To the military, I am commander-in-chief. On the civilian side, I am the chief executive of the government. And when talking about the police, this is what he's saying. They are my subordinate, and I am ultimately responsible for their deeds. And these are quotations, and they can be found at tab 131.2 of our prosecution list of materials at ERN PHL-OTP-00095-679, page 0004, and the relevant lines are from 131 to 134. And the direct perpetrators complied with Duterte's order and respected his authority. Mr. Duterte was respected by the physical perpetrators. He was feared, and his order and instruction were obeyed. One insider witness explicitly says that the police killed, and I quote, because of the directive of the president. This is what the witness said, an insider. And this quote can be found at tab 120 of the prosecution list of material, ERN PHL OTP -0088631-R01 and page 66, and the relevant line are from 2304 to 2306. And this statement is corroborated by other statements we are also provided. And some direct perpetrator complied because of their blind loyalty to Mr. Duterte. Some did it out of fear, and others were encouraged to comply by promises of money and rewards. For some, killings reached the level of a perverse form of competition with effort to attain killing quotas, which in turn would lead to promotions and rewards. Others felt there was no other choice but to comply, with one insider explaining that it was simply not possible to not obey Mr. Duterte's command. And this is also from an insider witness. And this evidence can be found at tab 51 of the prosecution list of materials, ERN PHL-OTP-001-5403 at page 0008 to 0009, and the relevant line here is from 240 to 245. Direct perpetrators were further emboldened to commit crime by Mr. Duterte's repeated promises of immunity. In various public statements, Mr. Duterte vowed to protect the police involved in killing. And this is what he said again. For as long as there is a power to pardon in the Constitution, that's my weapon against crime. If you massacre 100 and there are 100 of you, then you will all be pardoned. Restored to full political and civil rights, plus a promotion to boot. It's like that, especially the high profile. And this quote can be found at tab 130.2 of the prosecution list of materials at ERN PHL-OTP and 50336 at page 0010. Such statements reassure the physical perpetrators. One insider described that he felt confident to continue killing people because he knew that he wouldn't be arrested for that. And this evidence can be found at tab 38 of the prosecution list of material, ERN PHL-OTP-0001-2779 at page 0005, and relevant lines are from 130 to 131. Your Honors, let me now say a few words about the contextual elements. The 78 murders and attempted murders that Mr. Duterte is charged with in this case were not random. These were not random crimes, nor was they spontaneous or happened in isolation. Rather, the evidence demonstrates that they were part of a widespread and systematic attack directed against the civilians population of the Philippines. The murders and attempted murders were carried out across the Philippines and over a substantial period of time. Overall, Duterte's so-called war on drugs resulted in the killings of thousands of civilians from the 1st of November 2011 to the 16th of March 2019. And many of these victims were
Excuse me, counsel, you have 5 minutes left.
Okay. Yes, were children. The victim of extrajudicial killing charge in this case were brutally murdered, some after having been abducted and mistreated. Unlike Mr. Duterte, who is represented by his counsel here today, they were deprived of any form of due process. The loss of every single one of these victims had the most profound impact on their families, their friends, and ultimately their communities. Their suffering was met not merely with Mr. Duterte's indifference, but with his mocking. In a 25 July 2016 speech, he expressly made fun of the iconic photograph portraying the partner of an extrajudicial killing victim cradling his body, which now visible on our screen. While the specific incident portrayed in this photograph is not charged in this case, Mr. Duterte's comment on it is demonstrative of his attitude towards the victims. In reference to this photo, Mr. Duterte, this is what he said. Those of you who are still sober, those who haven't tried illegal drugs, if you don't want to die or get hurt, don't rely on the priest, including human rights advocate. They won't be able to prevent death. So, don't do it. And then, there you are, sprawled on the ground, and you are portrayed in a broadsheet like Mother Mary cradling the dead cadaver of Jesus Christ. That's how they are creating dramas here. This is what he said. And this quote can be found at tab 128 of the prosecution list of material at ERN PHL-OTP-50335, page 0008. And of course, the question of whether Mr. Duterte had knowledge and intent, of course, goes without saying. Your Honors, Mr. Duterte intended and knew that the charged crime were occurring, or that they would occur in the ordinary course of events that he had set in place and put in motion. His intent and knowledge are shown by the multiple statements he made throughout his mayoral and presidential tenure, promising to reduce crimes by killing alleged criminals, promoting the common plan, and urging police and even members of the public to kill alleged criminals. As detailed in the prosecution pre-confirmation brief, and as Your Honor will hear in the course of my team's presentation, Mr. Duterte also made statements directly acknowledging allegation of extrajudicial killings by his subordinates and issued written order showing he knew about the crimes they committed. Your Honors, the prosecution relies on significant and varied sources of evidence to demonstrate that substantial ground exists to believe that Mr. Duterte is criminally responsible for the crimes. This evidence includes multiple witness statements, including insider witnesses. It includes many speeches of Mr. Duterte himself, as well as the statement of his co-perpetrators. It also includes orders and other documents signed by himself. The prosecution further relies on official government documents, including material from the Philippine National Police. It relies on drug watch list, on audio and video material, as well as on forensic and financial evidence. Your Honors, during the prosecution's subsequent presentation, my colleague will elaborate on some of these core evidence in more detail. Mr. Nichols will give a presentation on Mr. Duterte's background, followed by an overview of the evidence demonstrating his responsibility for the crime charged in count 1. This will be followed by the presentation of Mr. Jeremy behind me, who will speak about the evidence demonstrating Mr. Duterte's responsibility as President for the crime charged in count 2 and 3. And Ms. Croft, on my left, will then elaborate on the contextual element of crime against humanity and the mode of liability through which Mr. Duterte is responsible for the crimes alleged in this case. And to conclude, Madam President, Your Honor, while this court cannot reunite victim with their loved one, it can help reveal the truth about what happened to them and bring a sense of justice to the victim. The charge before you today are serious, and the evidence submitted require their confirmation. And Mr. Duterte must be held to account, and this case should be confirmed for trial. I thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Prosecutor.
Life News.
Now we are slightly
Alas
in
6:22.
advance on our schedule. I will now hand over to the legal representative of victims for her opening statements until 11, and then after that you shall continue. Please proceed, ma'am.
Life News. Life News. Life News.
Madam President, Your Honors, by way of an opening statement, we convey the views and concerns of the 497 victims authorized to participate in these proceedings. At the outset, Your Honors, we communicate the very deep disappointment of the victims at the decision allowing Rodrigo Duterte not to be present in this stage of confirmation of charges. The sight of Mr. Duterte being read and being confronted with the grave and horrible charges against him would have constituted a vital component of justice for the victims. This case symbolically represents the last boat that the victims can board to go on a journey in search of justice for their loved ones who were brutally killed upon the orders of Mr. Duterte. If this chamber prevents the boat from sailing by not confirming the charges, the victims will forever be moored in an island where the nights are filled with the screams and cries of their massacred loved ones. There is absolutely no other recourse for the victims. No less than former Philippine Justice Secretary Crispin Remulla admitted just a few months ago that the door to domestic justice is permanently closed for victims of the Duterte extrajudicial killings. Remulla declared, and we quote, "It is difficult to prove the case here and build up the case because those who need to speak are involved in the crime. There's nothing, not even a police report. You don't have a scene of the crime. You don't have ballistics. You don't have DNA." Remulla further declared, and I quote, "Everything that could be erased was erased so that the cases would not push through. That is why this has reached the ICC." Under the Philippine justice system, Your Honors, no criminal case can reach the courts unless they are initiated and filed by the Department of Justice or the Office of the Ombudsman. From Justice Secretary Remulla has been appointed as ombudsman. So the two gatekeepers of justice are successively occupied by a ranking official who has declared that there is absolutely no hope for domestic justice for the victims. If the charges are not confirmed in this case, one of the gravest concerns of the victims is that Mr. Duterte will return to the Philippines as a conquering hero. He will resume preaching his gospel of impunity. In fact, if Mr. Duterte could threaten to slap the judges of this court, which he did while he was president, this chamber should imagine the kind of terror-filled threats and the violent actions that can easily be used against the victims if the suspect walks free from this court. If the charges are not confirmed, it is a very serious concern of the victims that Mr. Duterte will be portrayed in history by his multitude of followers as the leader who vanquished the ICC and who cleansed his country of 30,000 rapists, murderers, and dangerous criminals, which were the scornful words he sweepingly used against all those who were killed in his murderous spree. Your Honors, Mr. Duterte has been in detention here in The Hague for almost a year now. But there has been no peace and rest for the victims. From the time their loved ones were killed and continuously up to this time, they lived in constant fear for their lives. The arrest and detention of Mr. Duterte has not stopped impunity in the Philippines. The virus of impunity that he spread all over the country has become a cancer that has metastasized, infecting millions of Filipinos. Mr. Duterte has created clones of himself. He converted millions of peace-loving citizens into bloodthirsty disciples who have become converts to the belief that violence and killings are valid solutions to societal problems. The killings masterminded by Mr. Duterte continue to have consequences for the victims even to this day because of his clones. These mini Dutertes harass, threaten, or commit outright violence against the victims and their families. As shown by the number of victims participating in this proceeding so far, many still fear to come out and tell their stories of how their lives became a living hell as a result of Mr. Duterte's crimes and because they are constantly terrified of being targeted with violence by Duterte fanatics. Many victims have been hesitant to participate in this ICC case because they live in communities that thrive with Duterte clones. They see the halls of power of their country teeming with Duterte disciples. They see and hear senators, congresspersons, mayors, governors, and powerful public figures who are mini Dutertes. The daughter of Mr. Duterte is the vice president, and she has just recently declared that she is running for president in 2028. One Duterte son is a congressman. Another is the Davao City mayor, and his grandchildren occupy positions of power. The plague of impunity has spread not only among Filipinos in the Philippines, but even among expatriate Filipinos in faraway lands like here in The Hague. When we reported to the victims that we, their external legal representatives, feel like fugitives.
Apologies, Counsel, it's 11 o'clock.
Life News.
When we reported to the victims that we, their external legal representatives, feel like fugitives who avoid our own countrymen here in The Hague.
Life News.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Life News.
We will now take a half-hour break as provided for in the schedule, and you shall resume your remarks at 11:30. These are the rules that are set in the schedule, which was set in paragraph 18 of the decision.
Life News. Serbisyong makataw, responsable at totoo. Life News.
Oras sa Pilipinas, alas 6:30 na sa gabi sa aton sa ring pagpangalagad.
Serbisyong makataw, responsable at totoo. Life News.
Makabanan sa aton sining mga kauturan, no, ang kawahin sini sa pagbasa sa mga charges against former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Sa aton sining mga kauturan makabanan nga konsirin pang isa-isahon tani karon sa dili kilawang dugay ang tanan-tanan sini nga nagkilatabo sining confirmation of charges batok kay former President Rodrigo Duterte pagkatapos ang pila ka importanteng pahanomdom. Oras alas 6:31 sa gabi.
Maputi, malumok, kag mapino nga panit. Amo bala ini ang imo mga handog? White Tomato Capsule by Dr. Frey ang imo kinahanglanon. Mayara ini sang White Tomato Extract nga puno sang phytoin kag phytofluin nga lunsay potent and powerful antioxidant compounds. May reduced na forma sang glutathione nga madasig maabsorb sang aton nga selula. Ang White Tomato Capsule by Dr. Frey effective sa pagbuhin sang dark spots, acne scars, freckles, melasma kag iban pa nga mga problema sa panit. Mag-inom sang White Tomato Capsule by Dr. Frey 1 to 2 capsules kada adlaw kag makita ang epekto pagkatapos ang 2 tubtob 3 ka bulan nga pag-inom. White Tomato Capsule by Dr. Frey 100% nga himo sa Switzerland sang Swiss Energy Pharma. Mabakal sa mga pharmacies kag sa mga life extension integrative medical clinics and pharmacies.
Kung kamo nagapangita sa isa ka clinically proven kag scientifically validated nga produkto luwas sa paggamit sa life extension vitamin D3, ginapakilala ang POMI-T. POMI-T ginhimo sang grupo sa mga medical doctors, scientists kag nutritionists nga ginapangunahan ni Dr. Robert Thomas ng Cambridge University Hospital sa UK. Sigurado kag makabulig sang dako para matagaan kita proteksyon sa